shirt.
Okay, it's going. You should see it on my. Let me know how it looks.
Do you have a link or something? Like after the copy and paste?
Are you on my? You follow me? Are you?
Wait, you got a Facebook? Oh, nice. Cool.
I can type it in the thing though.
You could probably, once they start broadcasting, you can probably search for our group on Facebook.
Search for the group.
Texas Soccer Live.
Take something like.
It's a page on Facebook. All right. So yeah, watch your mouth now because everything's being broadcast live on there. So, do you see us on there?
Yeah. Let me show you.
You just shared it?
Yeah, let me show it now.
Yeah, actually, either turn it off or mute it. Control it.
So
Over behind Raul.
the page,
Alright, we're good.
our page, and then my page.
Yeah. And then you keep it with you. That way, when you come on, you can see the. Here, just turn it all the way down. Turn it all the way down.
Texas Soccer Live.
Yep.
Alright,
We're good.
good little Kodak.
Let's share that out.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Start here in a second. See if people get on.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 people.
Oh, well, you count as one.
Oh, no,
You
two.
count as one. You know, eventually, like I said, we're gonna see what the Spanish thing is. One of the people that Joe who we had on last time,
Yeah.
Damn, Juan's already watching
his
this.
family. What? Who's watching?
Juan.
Oh yeah. What up, Juan? Boy.
Juan!
He said, "Que on that way."
Okay, I'm that way. Oh God. Okay. All right, you let me know as soon as you got it on both pages. Let me know. I'll go ahead and get started. Both? We're good. Okay. Guys, we got one good for the people. I'll wait just a second, and then we'll do so. Yeah. So Memo, usually some people watch us live, but then a lot of people watch the playback.
After.
Yeah, because it gets uploaded and then we share it out. So. All right.
Alright, well, cool. Even if they don't see it now, they'll be able to see it later.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get started. All right, guys. Welcome back. Sean Zelez here. We have an old familiar face finally back on the show. Raul Bermudez is back in the house. Our Salvadorian soccer aficionado is back. We got an exciting show for y'all. Raul Villarreal is going to be with us. We're going to try a new approach to this show. Our 8th episode. We're going to do kind of a mix. So if you're going to be watching this on playback, you're not watching live, we got 4 main segments for you. Raul and I are going to talk about our Dynamo and MLS update. Kind of our thoughts on now that we're in the final stretch of the season. That'll be about for 10 minutes. And then if you want to move forward about 10 minutes, Raul's going to be doing for the first time ever a Spanish-only segment on Liga MX and Copa MX action. And so we're going to see. We heard a lot of people that liked the idea of possibly doing some Spanish-only broadcasts. So if you like that segment, we decided, hey, let's try Liga MX in Spanish. Might as well. Then all 3 of us are going to come together, and European soccer's in full swing. So we had all 5 of the major European soccer leagues we're going to be covering, from La Liga to Premier League to Bundesliga to everything in between. And we'll talk about the upcoming playoff, the World Cup qualifiers coming up actually weekend after next, excuse me. And what that means for USA and Mexico, and there's a few other games that I think I like. So, welcome back. Good you're with us. So let's talk about your Dynamo. Dynamo, an interesting situation. We have 9 games left on the MLS season. Your Dynamo are sitting in 3rd place with 37 points, tied with the Portland Timbers. Well, we got the tiebreaker because of goal differential. But your thoughts on before we get into actual games? What do you think and how you feel about about the Dynamo going into the stretch?
I mean, they're doing good, but they still have the away game curse. They at home they do so well. They come, they play, they get results. But when they go away, when they play those games away, something just keeps on happening. I just feel that they need to be more, I guess, responsible, and they should have more confidence. I know some when you're not at home, it's tough. You have a crowd against you, but a lot of people, I just think that, especially with the Dynamo, I think they just need more confidence. You know, this past game, you know, where I think I saw that Tyler Derrick, you know, the goalkeeper, he wasn't playing, you know, to the potential that he was playing. And I've seen him, you know, at other games, you know, he comes out, makes great plays, you know, but I mean, the game, you know, they could have maybe gotten a tie or maybe even the win. It shouldn't have been a
Well,
loss.
the thing is, Tyler Derrick, you give a good point. He hasn't necessarily had a bad year. I pulled up because I was curious about that. I'm like, is he the reason that they're screwing up on the road? And you know, overall, he has 41 saves out of 60. He said there's been 64 shots on goal, and he's saved 41 of them. So I mean, 66%, 2/3. He's saved. Could he do better? Yeah. But there's something going on with the offense because I mean, what was it? 1-2 they end up losing. You know, Kyoto's the only one who gets a goal in the last game, and then before that they get a tie against. I mean, who was it? It was terrible.
Minnesota.
Yeah. He gets ties against Minnesota on the road, and just terrible teams are getting ties against. And like you said, we brought it up, and Raul and I brought it up in several episodes, and you see the same thing. It is like disturbing, like how different they are, and it also shows how important it is. They better get home field advantage for the playoffs because if they don't, this team ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, and also, you know, going back to the Minnesota game, they could have easily won that game 5-0, 4-0 at least. And then they were about to lose that at that last play. You know, it was annoying. It was pretty annoying because they have the players, they have the potential to be a champion team. You know, this is a good team. You know, they could get to the finals.
And I'm starting to wonder, like, you know, I agree we've had a huge turnaround. I think people forget, those who follow the Dynamo, people have forgotten that last year they were they were last place.
Yeah, like
they were god awful.
They should have been if they didn't have if the MLS had a relegation system, they would have been easily relegated.
So I mean, I wonder maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Like I said, there are high expectations I think on this team, but the funny thing is, those high expectations weren't there back at the start of the season. It's just because we've seen that they have the offense to do it. I mean, my question is. It's not just the goalie. I think the defense in general still has some issues.
They always lose. You know, they're always losing at the matchup against the long balls. You know, you can see they get beaten easy to the runs. You know, they should be able to, you know, to be attentive, be able to play the man defense. Also add more pressure to the offense. You know, you know, if you see one player go, you know, match up against a guy, they should be able to look around and see the other players.
Well, that's if you listen to the national media and some people the commentators nationally, MLS, everyone seems to be putting the Dynamo in what I call kind of the third tier, which is that they're good, but they still have a lot to prove to be a complete team. And a lot of people see us taking the real step next year. In Cabrera's second year, that he's implemented a system. What I'm also curious about is for the first time, finally, we have the Argentinian Tomas Martinez is coming in, who's I think is a really good player, and we finally got him. He's supposed to. They said he might play this weekend, and he could be a huge difference in the midfield where we haven't been bad. I mean, Alex has been a great guy there with 10 assists. I mean, on the season, but I'm just curious to see if we change things up, mix things up. Maybe we may result in something more complete on defense. So, like I said, the road doesn't get any easier. If you just look ahead with 9 games left, they got the last matchup with FC Dallas, which is never an easy game, away once they get on the road this weekend. They have the number 2 team in the West, Sporting KC, back home. They have what should be, we say, Colorado, should be an easy win, and luckily it is at home. Then you got San Jose, who is in the top 8, and that's away. You know, it's kind of scary. The only good thing is that you have some games that are very winnable, but there are 2 Eastern Conference teams with NYC and Chicago that I'm a little concerned about in terms of how they're going to do, because those guys are killing in the East. I mean, there's not a lot of give-me's. I mean, I'd say Galaxy at home should be a guaranteed win. Minnesota at home should be a win. Colorado at home should be a win. But I'm just nervous right now because they're sitting on the bubble. I mean, Portland and Dallas, if Portland and Dallas can outmatch the Dynamo in points, Portland's at 37, Dallas 35, and even if Dynamo gets knocked down to 5th place, that puts them out of home field advantage in the playoff system. So if I am not confident in this team after all this year, unless they do something crazy these last 9 games, unless they get home field advantage, they're not getting out of the first round.
Yeah, and I think this next couple of games are vital. You know, like how you said, I mean, tomorrow's game is really vital against FC Dallas. That's a really good team that they play. You know, we've seen.
Yeah,
You know,
and 2 games, 3 days.
Yeah.
You got Dallas Wednesday, and you turn around and you come back home against Sporting KC
Yeah.
on Saturday.
yeah. So I mean, FC Dallas is a good team to play against. I mean, they have guys. You know, they have good strikers in their team. They have a pretty solid goalkeeper that But I think that'll be if they could win. If they could win tomorrow, they'll those 3 points are really vital, and also with helping at home advantage for the playoffs.
That's huge. And speaking of the playoffs, I'm just looking at the playoff picture. As we look at it now, you're going to Seattle. I don't see Seattle, Sporting KC falling at all. I think they're going to be in the top 4 in the West. Portland's kind of had their mix, but we haven't matched up well against Portland. You got Dallas, who's just the national rivalry there. After that, I'm pretty confident. I mean, you got your Vancouver, San Jose, Real Salt Lake finish out the top 8. There's a big disparity in the Western Conference. I mean, it really drops off. But the trick is there's a huge difference between 4th place and 5th place for the Dynamo. Huge. Just real quick, just kind of wrap things up with MLS. Over the East, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention. I know Raul and I were watching the game the other day with Toronto against New York. Toronto FC is absolutely ridiculous. These guys have 50 points. A bunch of American national teams on there, a bunch of other guys. 14 wins, only 3 losses on the entire season in 25 matches. They've only lost 3 games and have racked up 50 points, including almost a 2-to-1 goal differential. 49 goals scored. So, they're definitely, in my mind, if those either keeping up with the MLS and the playoffs, I think they're the team to beat because you have the only other ones who are even close to challenging is New York City FC and Chicago. And Chicago's kind of waned off. I mean, Schweinsteiger's still playing great, and they still got a great team, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit. So interesting. Any other thoughts? I mean, I got one more thing that I have done, but anything in general that's like I said, besides this same old story, time and time again about the road losses. Anything else that we should be looking out for with the Dynamo as we go into the final 9 games?
I think with the Dynamo, we should just need the confidence, especially once they get to the playoffs, because I mean we already know the Dynamo will be they're a playoff team already. You're not gonna be playing, you're not gonna have home field advantage at all the the playoff games, but they should be confident enough to play every game now. These next couple of games as if it's their last game. I mean, if it's a championship game, especially they're gonna be playing some tough teams. Over the weekend, I was watching some of the games, some of the other teams, and they're ready to play. They want to win this year. So I mean, the Dynamo has to get everything ready. And then
the good thing is, I'll say this for them. I'll leave off with the Dynamo is that they're healthy finally.
Yeah.
They were hurting for a while with Kyoto out. Even Ellis was out for a while. Minota stepped up. Actually, I was looking at the stats, and he's been on a big surprise. 8 goals on the season with 5 assists. And he's been a nice surprise. He's kind of that 4th forward striker. But they're healthy. They have a new guy with Martinez coming in the mix in the midfield. So they have the personnel. The question is, can they execute and follow through? I've never seen a team more so in my life as a spectator, as a fan, as a coach, just from any perspective I look at the game, that it's so mental with them. I mean, I'm not downing their skill at all. Can they get some better defenders? Maybe. But it is really just mental at this point. So, so my big thing is, if you're someone who's been waiting to go out to a game, these are some critical games. You want to see some high-intensity soccer MLS. I'm telling you, that Sporting KC game on Saturday is going to be nuts, followed by the Colorado game, which is on the 9th, the following Saturday. So actually, they get a little break with Labor Day, which is nice. That home game is huge. And then again, at the end of the month with the Galaxy on the 27th, they got another. Luckily, they're home games, and I like they don't have to travel, but you got the Galaxy on the 27th and Minnesota on the 30th. 2 games that you should win at home against crappy teams.
Easy 6
But that scares me. That scares me because teams like to fall asleep, and I hope they don't fall asleep like that. So, okay. Well, with that, we are going to turn it over, so give us a second here to transition. Raul's going to come on with y'all and talk some Liga MX and Copa MX for you. So if that's the segment that you're tuned in for, you're about to see that's going to be all in Spanish. If you do not want to see that section, don't care about Liga MX or Spanish like that, and you're watching the playback, go ahead about 20 minutes or so, and we'll come back with some European soccer. So give us a second, we're going to switch out here. And then if you just want to, like I said, you want to emphasize the point to them that we're trying this out, so if they want it, if this is what they really want, so they can just feedback. Okay?
Para empezar, hola, yo me llamo Raúl Villarreal. Por primera vez vamos a hacer un segmento de este show para ver si a ustedes les gusta ver algo en español. Voy a hablar Liga MX, Copa MX, la selección mexicana. Vamos a ver cómo nos va la primera vez. Si les gusta, dejen sus comentarios para ver cómo nos va. Para empezar, nomás les quiero dejar cómo van en la Copa MX. La Copa MX es una versión pequeña de la Liga MX que tiene equipos de la primera división, segunda, y están jugando para ganar lo último, que es el trofeo para avanzar. Lo primero es de la Liga MX. Ahorita están jugando 4 equipos hoy y van empezando porque va a haber los juegos de la selección mexicana. Van a jugar el primer día de septiembre y luego el 6 de septiembre. Y por eso están jugando durante la semana y también juegan el fin de semana. Ahorita está jugando, si estoy correcto, es Pachuca, Veracruz, Atlas y Lobos después, Pumas y Monarcas en la noche y también Querétaro y Tijuana. Ahorita como va la tabla, va Monterrey en primer lugar, América en segundo lugar, Cruz Azul en tercer lugar, Toluca en cuarto lugar, Tigres en quinto lugar, Necaxa en sexto lugar, Querétaro en séptimo lugar y Lobos en octavo lugar. Lo que agarra mucha gente de sorpresa es que un equipo de segunda división anda muy bien y es Lobos WAP. Apenas vino de la segunda división y llegaron y muchos pensaban que no iban a empezar bien porque un equipo siempre que viene de la segunda división no empieza bien. Pero muchos están de sorpresa ahorita porque están en los primeros 8 y los primeros 8 son los que pueden avanzar a la liguilla. La semana pasada apenas van como 5 o 6 juegos de la jornada o de la temporada. Como yo veo los juegos de la semana pasada, es muy raro porque miras unos equipos que deben de estar arriba pero están abajo. Como un equipo que está fracasando mucho es Chivas. Chivas la temporada pasada estaba bien, quedaron campeones, pero ahora están en el último lugar, nomás tienen 3 puntos. No sé qué traen ahorita, pero no creo que se vayan a poder levantar de lo que están haciendo ahorita, porque si empiezas así, ya vas sin muchos puntos y necesitas más. Ahorita los Tigres andan bien, pero lo que yo tengo que decir es que muchos jugadores que tenemos siempre están en la banca y lo que tiene que hacer Tuca es que usar a esos jugadores, no nomás en la Copa MX. Lo que le gusta hacer a él es que guardar unos jugadores que deben empezar en el primer equipo, pero a él le gusta guardarlos para jugarlos en la Copa MX a ver cómo juegan, pero eso no debe hacer, porque cuando los quieres usar en el primer equipo no te sale muy bien. Gracias a Dios que ahorita están en los primeros 8 y para mí están jugando muy bien. Ojalá que les vaya bien mañana contra América. Juegan mañana a las 7. Uno de los 4 juegos que van a jugar mañana son América y Tigres, Puebla, León, Santos y Chivas, Monterrey, Toluca y Necaxa y Cruz Azul. Para mí los juegos más importantes de mañana son América y Tigres, Monterrey, Toluca y Necaxa y Cruz Azul. ¿Por qué? Porque muchos hablamos de Cruz Azul, pero ahorita Cruz Azul sí anda muy bien, se anda levantando. Siempre, en los pasados años siempre anda abajo, pero ahorita anda muy bien. También Necaxa siempre está abajo, apenas regresó como un año o más, y apenas regresó, y ahorita yo me recuerdo que la temporada pasada no calificó, pero la temporada antes de esa sí calificó, pero perdió contra América en un juego muy malo. Ahorita para la Liga MX, yo creo que muchos equipos son los equipos que andan bien, pero como Pumas y Pachuca, esos según que son los grandes y que siempre deben estar arriba, pero para mí no creo que son los grandes ahorita. Pachuca no sé qué tiene. Yo creo que desde que perdieron a Chucky Lozano se les fue cayendo el equipo. Sí agarraron unos jugadores y ellos creen que están muy bien, pero yo creo que van a caer y no van a calificar esta temporada. También a Pumas siempre dice que es un gran equipo, pero en los años pasados siempre ha caído, siempre cae contra Tigres y yo no miro que se vaya a levantar ahorita. América es uno de otros de los equipos que siempre dice que es un grande y debe de estar arriba. Sí agarraron unos jugadores, pero no se mira como que andan bien. Y luego también Cruz Azul, para mí anda muy bien, está saliendo para arriba, pero todavía tiene mucho trabajo. Otra cosa que les quiero decir es que los equipos que están abajo, los 4 equipos que están abajo, siempre son unos equipos que siempre salen en los primeros 8. Son Tijuana, que siempre sale en primer lugar, pero ahorita está hasta abajo. Otro equipo es Monarcas, que iba a descender a la segunda división, pero el que descendió fue Chiapas y se quedó Monarcas. Santos Laguna no ha ganado un juego, puros empates, y yo creo que traen un problema con el técnico y con los jugadores, porque tienen que llegar a algo para ver si pueden agarrar más puntos, más a las jornadas, y no agarras puntos, nomás agarras un punto, no te va a salir bien. Para Chivas es lo mismo lo que dije, que no andan bien, no sé qué está pasando con ellos, no sé si es el técnico, los jugadores. Yo sé que no traen a Alan Pulido ahorita por lesión y no sé cuándo va a regresar, pero no nomás es un jugador, deben de ser más jugadores. Lo pueden ver. Otra cosa, para explicarle más de la Copa MX, los grupos, ya mero se va a acabar la Copa MX, porque cuando se acaba la Copa MX empieza la Conca Champions, pero yo creo que nomás faltan 2 juegos más, y como trabaja la Copa MX es el primer equipo que está en primer lugar es el que va a avanzar. Del grupo número 1 es Toluca, la UDG y Dorados de Sinaloa. Ahorita va ganando Toluca con 9 puntos. En el grupo 2 es Pumas, Monterrey y Celaya. Ahorita va ganando Monterrey. En el grupo 3 es Atlas, América y Potros. Y ahorita van empatados Atlas y América con 6 puntos. En el grupo 4 es Tijuana, Puebla y Atlante, y va ganando Tijuana. En el grupo 5 es Cruz Azul, Zacatepec y Tigres. Ahorita va ganando Cruz Azul con 5 puntos. En el grupo 6 es León, Oaxaca y Veracruz. Va ganando León con 9 puntos. Y en el grupo 7, Santos, Chivas y Juárez. Los dos van empatados, Santos y Guadalajara con 2 puntos. En el grupo 8 es Pachuca, Querétaro y Sonora. Y va ganando Pachuca. Y en el último grupo es Necaxa, Morelia y Mineros de Zacatecas. Y va ganando Necaxa. Y como dije, son el primer equipo que tiene los más puntos, avanza. Y como trabaja eso es, si ganas la Copa MX, tienen un juego en California que se llama la Supercopa MX y agarran el equipo que ganó este año y el equipo del próximo año y van a jugar a ver quién se gana a la Supercopa MX. Pero es una versión chiquita de la Liga MX también, es para darle chance a los equipos de la segunda división para venir a jugar con la primera división, a ver cómo les va. Muchos jugadores salen de la segunda división y vienen a la primera división porque le dan la oportunidad. Para mí no es tan importante, pero para ganar algo así en México, si eres un equipo de la segunda división, es algo grande para ustedes porque no pueden ganar la primera división, pero también tienen su torneo de la segunda división que es como la Liga MX, la primera división, pero es diferente, es puros equipos de la segunda división. Ahorita yo creo que la Conca Champions empieza en diciembre y cuando empieza eso, la Conca Champions es una versión más pequeña para llegar al Mundial de Clubes. Es como la Champions League, pero es una versión más pequeña. Pero eso es todo de la Copa MX. Como dije, si ustedes están interesados para la selección de México, ya les dije las fechas para esos juegos y van a ver si pueden calificar al Mundial. Y si quieren ver todos los juegos de la Liga MX, son 4 hoy, 4 mañana. Los primeros 8, como les dije, son Monterrey, América, Cruz Azul, Toluca, Tigres, Necaxa, Querétaro y Lobos. Si hubiera liguilla hoy, fuera Monterrey contra Lobos WAP, América contra Querétaro, Cruz Azul contra Necaxa y Toluca contra Tigres. Pero todavía faltan muchos juegos. Si quieren, los juegos para viernes es Tijuana y Pachuca van a jugar otra vez el viernes. El sábado va a ser Cruz Azul y Monterrey, Tigres contra Lobos, Santos contra León, Monarcas y América, Necaxa y Atlas, Chivas y Querétaro. Y luego el domingo es Toluca, Puebla, Veracruz y Pumas. Si quieren ver esos juegos se van a pasar el viernes, sábado y domingo. Pero los juegos de hoy y mañana son porque la selección mexicana va a tener juegos en septiembre y van a tener que tomar tiempo para jugar esos juegos porque muchos van a la selección mexicana. Pero ojalá que les guste esto. Si quieren más de un parte en puro español, nomás dejen sus comentarios y dinos si les gusta o no. Pero ahorita les voy a hablar a los otros muchachos para que vengan y vayamos a hablar lo demás en inglés para los que vayan a Europa.
Next one. We're back. I guess before we start with the European soccer, it's a good time to talk about this week's giveaway. And we're going to do it, and I'll have Raul say it in Spanish too for those who just tuned in for that Spanish portion. Well, first of all, tell us what you like, don't like. As always, give us feedback. One thing we talked about is we're going to get more guests on. I think a lot of people liked to have guests on last time. It works well, 3 people, as well as having more people. If you want more of the Spanish, get more guests. We'll get guests that do Spanish too, that Raul can interview and do stuff like that with. So let us know what works. Give us comments, etc. As we get going. So the giveaway this week, pretty simple task. if you'd like to get in the drawing. This week we're going to give away one of our show shirts. Except this time, instead of a hat, we have a Dynamo glass for you. Very nice pint glass.
Yeah.
Those of you that want to have a cold one over the weekend, have a brew, or whatever cold beverage you'd like to have in that glass. We're going to be giving that away to, we'll do a drawing. And if you want to get the drawing for that glass and a hat, here's what you got to do. You have to go onto the Texas Soccer Live page and get, I want you to invite 5 new people. And get 5 new people, we don't care who they are, get 5 new people to like and follow the page. And then send us a message, either send the page a message that, hey, I got these 5 people to like the page, and if I see that they liked it and followed it, then you're in the drawing, and we'll draw from there. Let's do this. Let's do it till the end of the weekend, so you have until Sunday. So share the page, share this video, and tell 5 of your friends to like the Texas Soccer Live page, and then let us know when that's done, and we'll draw from that. So if you want to tell them in Spanish that your 5 friends.
Vamos a estar regalando un vaso y unas camisetas de esta, pero tienen que agregar 5 personas de sus amigos para que le gusten a la página de nosotros. Es el único, es para ganar el vaso y la camiseta, pero tienen que agregar 5 amigos para la página de nosotros y que los dejen una like.
Okay. Good deal. All right, well, guys, let's get into since things have been going on nonstop with Liga MX, obviously in full swing. MLS is in the final 9 games. We have quite the storm, as I would call it, of now that all soccer is in session. Europe is back in session in full swing. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through kind of league by league real fast. And I have some questions and for you guys. And then if you guys want to chime in and you got any questions as well, we go from there. So once again, guys, as we go over this, if there's certain leagues that we cover that you want to hear more, if we have more of you guys that are into the Premier League, or you want to hear about La Liga more, or Bundesliga, whatever, hey, tell us. Okay, I've kind of picked out the 5 biggest leagues in Europe now that they're all actually in session. So what we're going to do for each league is I'm going to kind of give an overview of how did it start, how it's going, who's currently there, and then kind of have a few questions, and I'll kind of turn it over to y'all, what y'all think for the season. All right, so our first league is Serie A in Italy, and if those of you not familiar with Serie A, Juventus are the reigning champions from last year coming back. We saw them in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, and they started week 1 this past week. Winners of, so obviously we have a bunch of ties. There's not, a lot of winners, but week 1 winners included the new look AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Napoli, Chievo, Sampdoria, and Roma. So those teams are the ones who came away with 3 points in opening week. And so I guess my first question is to start with sort of last year's champions. And we saw them most recently. Last time we talked about them was Champions League. What do you guys think about Juventus this year? How dominant do you think they will or will not continue to be, considering what's going on with the league? So Juventus, what do you think about it?
Well, for me, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting because I've seen Juventus lose players and they also gained a couple players. Obviously, AC Milan gained so many players, but I think for Juventus, I think they're actually gonna have a rough time trying to be the first place team and trying to win the whole thing because now you have AC Milan back in full effect, good players. They had so much money to spend, so I think Juventus needs to watch out for that.
Yeah, now, like you said, it's they should go up and down, but now that they have money to spend, I mean, they could, go out there and buy a couple players, and strengthen, the team all around, but I think AC Milan, I'm really excited for AC Milan, also, it's a new squad, if some people are actually, comparing them to the old squad, with all of the, the greats, and I feel that, but also, I think Juventus, they're going to be, they're going to have a hard time, but, they're going to be able to pull forward. I mean, they have, the back, with defense and and the goalie, you know, with Buffon. I mean, he still, you know, he still wants to stay an extra year. So, you know, that'd be good. You know, that'd be a really good, interesting team to see. Also, not just on the Italian league, but also in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean that's not only a lot of people follow obviously Italian league soccer that much, but you look at those top teams and really people pay attention when it comes to. You have some quality teams that have very long histories when it comes to Champions League. And so, yeah, that was my next question, was about, you know, AC Milan. I mean, are these guys the team to beat? I mean, obviously, I don't remember last time I've seen a team in an off-season spin. I felt like every day we woke up and it was another big signing for this team is stacked. And the owners put a lot of money into the team. And like you said, a lot of people are saying this is the AC Milan of 20 years ago, and you know, dominant, you know, and so on. So, I mean, do you guys think that they are the team to beat going forward?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, you know, they'll be a good team. You know, they that, you know, that could be, you know, last time that even people were hearing about AC Milan was when Ronaldinho was playing, you know, in there, and then after that, you know, what happened, you know, people know, or Kaká or Gattuso and all of them.
In other words, another generation.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? One thing I noticed too, one of the stories I think captured a lot of people's attention. At the end of every year, we have people who retire, and one of the biggest things that caught my eye with Italian soccer was Roma, kind of an end of an era with Totti retiring as captain and being part of that team for 25 years. Do you think? And they didn't make a lot of moves over. Made some moves over the offseason. I mean, do you think a team like Roma? I mean, it's hard for me to imagine Roma being bad, but I feel like there's a lot of other teams that are becoming good all of a sudden. You know, Milan has two different squads that are good. Juventus has always been good. There's some of these other, you know, Napoli and some of these other ones that are coming out of nowhere and being good. Should Roma, do you think, should they be afraid with that legacy? I mean, they kind of, it's when you lose someone who's been, and you kind of, I'm talking in general terms here. What do you think? What does a team have to do when you lose someone who has basically been your identity for over 2 decades?
I think it's when that happens, you have to have, you know, first of all, it's loyalty, but also it's guys that are gonna step up and be you know, the next, you know, Totti, the next you know, the next Buffon and those kinds of guys, you know, because, you know, those guys, you know, I mean, you know, he retired already, and you know, the next guy that's gonna retire is Buffon, you know, I mean, who's gonna be the next goalkeeper, you know, the next Buffon? That's where a lot of these young guys that are coming in, they need to step up and then be able to, you know, jump in there and then say, okay, I got this position, you know. And then also, you know, I think it's also they have to be loyal, you know, to the team. I mean, Totti was with them, good and bad, you know. Buffon was with them,
which we can talk about, which is a rare thing now.
Yeah, nowadays, you know, nowadays, you know, I mean, especially with those big signings, you know, everyone's just leaving. You know, I mean, they give you a big paycheck and then what, you leave. You know, it's all about the money. It's not like soccer. You know, it's getting better, but you're still gonna see those players that are, you know, disgrace the game by just leaving the team for the money. It's not all about the money. It's, you know, it's all about, you know, it's about, you know, the sport, but also having to see, you know, oh man, you know, this team helped me become, you know, the player that I am. Mm-hmm. You know, and also, you know, you should stay with them, you know, through the good and bad. But I mean, and nowadays, you know, especially like in the English Premier, they all leave.
Yeah. Well, it's also what we were talking about, Ron, we mentioned on previous shows about the whole generation shift. I mean, it's more and more proof that we are going through not only a generational shift. I mean, you talk about a group of players going to retirement, but this is different because it's, for me, I mean, I know it's kind of hard to be from the middle of it. It's hard for me to kind of identify like this group. I mean, like, you know, because people switch so much. I mean, 10 years from now, are we going to be talking about, you know, the Neymars, you know, the Messi, all these people in the same way that we talk about Ronaldinho's and you know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird going generation to generation. The other thing I want to get your thoughts on it, Rose, because we talked about this before, is leagues starting to use video replay. And one of the news stories I saw from Italy over the weekend was a very mixed reaction, that they followed the plays, and in fact, they didn't get all the calls right. Matter of fact, they were looking at it, and I know it's only 1 week of data, but it was showing that pretty much the same mistakes, the same calls people would have complained about without the video replay, they were still complaining about with the video replay. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is just a fad that's going to, you know, die out, or have we entered the age of we're going to have video replay and everything?
I feel like it's only going to get used even more from now on because I think for them to actually start using it now and like a trial run, it's good and bad. It's effective and then it's not, because it makes the game even longer than it should be. You're like taking like timeouts here and there. So it's a good and bad thing. It's a good thing for your team if they call an offside goal, but then again, you could be on the other hand and they could take a goal away from you. Me personally, I feel like we're going to see it a lot more. We're going to see it next year in the World Cup, so be ready for that. I'm pretty sure they're going to use that. But it's going to be a while for it to transition into like the smaller leagues. Of course, they're going to start out with the big leagues like La Liga, basically all the European leagues. They're going to start off with those and see how it goes there, and then obviously they're going to push it in and they're going to try and bring it into the U.S., Mexico, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I don't think it's a good idea, but times are changing, technology is evolving. Obviously before we only had the camera where the goal is to see if the ball crossed. Now we have even more cameras watching that. So
Now, I heard an interesting story on today on ESPN. I was driving home and they're on the radio and they were talking about football and someone making an interesting argument that they saw football dying out as the dominant American sport within 20 years. And one of the reasons they gave for that was because they keep screwing with that game. They keep screwing with American football, with the games and the video replays, and now it's become more money-driven. Greedy sound familiar? Now we're getting this, that. So I wonder, I hope, in my mind as a soccer fan, I hope soccer does realize, especially in the United States, that they have a huge opportunity going forward. Because it seems to me that a lot of leagues are getting themselves in trouble. They've gotten away from what they really are about. And the games have kind of gotten messed up because of the rule changes and because of allowing technology to control so much that if they want to, soccer can be the dominant sport in every country. It already is in every country, but the United States could be the number one sport within 20 years in terms of viewership and fans and money. But the thing is, like, are you going to follow the same route of all other sports, or are you going to stay true to yourself? And like you said, money talks, not just with players, but with owners. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, I think also with this whole, going back to the video replay, what's interesting is that in the MLS, I was watching I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Orlando was playing against New York, and Kaká got a red card. I don't know if you saw it, and it was like at the last minute, and it was over, the call was, I guess you could say it was pretty ludicrous because so Kaká, what happened was it was a foul, and then Kaká he went to go, and it was this was one of his friends, and he knows outside of the game.
Right.
He grabbed his mouth and he just kind of like just told him hush, just playing around.
Yeah.
And the ref saw that and he gave him a straight red card. And whenever they do those kinds of calls, like if you're gonna use the video replay, it's more of an appropriate use, I guess you could say. Not just for small calls, because then you waste more time. There's more time spent in dumb calls, and I feel like that a lot of people are gonna start complaining more because everyone's gonna start wanting to make calls for every little foul, and then it's not gonna be soccer anymore. It's gonna be more like football.
You
start challenging.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, moving forward real quick. Next league, and this one's been the one that's been in play the longest. They've had 3 full weeks, and that is France with Ligue 1. Monaco are returning league champions from that. Obviously, PSG and Monaco were both in the Champions League. After 3 weeks, no surprise here. Top 2 teams: PSG number 1, Monaco number 2. Saint Etienne was number 3. Lyon, which is one that kind of sticks around, number 4, and Marseille in number 5. No surprise here. I'm going to get straight to the point because we all know when everyone thinks French soccer now, there's one person to think about, and that's Neymar. But I'll put to you guys, was this the best move for Neymar for his career? Obviously, we know PSG loves it. So on paper, it looks so far so good.
I think it is. In my opinion, the way I look at it, it's by Barcelona. They're a big team. You have Suarez and Messi in the front line. But and you had Neymar, but if you look at the score sheets, per game, goals made, you really don't see Neymar, scoring that much. It's always between, a neck-to-neck battle between Messi and Suarez. Messi doesn't score, Suarez didn't score, 1 or 2 goals, and you'll see Neymar with a couple of assists, but he was playing good, but people. You really wouldn't say, "Oh, Neymar." It was always Suarez and Messi, but Neymar's really young. He's a young guy. He's
last 2 weeks of French league play, when they do highlight shows, I've only heard one name, and that's Neymar.
Yeah,
you see, yeah.
And his debut, he scored a goal and an assist. That's impressive. But I feel like that people, if you wanna reach your highest potential, and whenever you go to Barcelona, people say, wow, this guy, he's at his potential, this guy is big, but I feel like, it was a good move by Neymar. I like Neymar, but I think, he could come back, to Barcelona, in the future and keep playing with them. But I think that, well, first of all, the fee to buy him was pretty expensive.
By any sports standard, that's insane.
It was bigger than Steph Curry.
It was a small country, is what it was.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think? In terms of, like I said, he just brought up a good point. There's a lot of money spent, and I always kind of cringe when I see anybody in any sport spend that much money on one player in a contract, and when it's a team sport, because I'm like, how do you know, like? At this point, like, the only way, in my opinion, that PSG gets their money's worth is, like, they have to win, like, 3 Champions Leagues in my mind for them to just. I'm sorry, like, it's weird. Like, is winning just 1 Champions League and a couple league titles enough? Or, my question is, by doing this, do you think the bar has been set too high, or where is that bar even at? That's my kind of. What do you think about that?
I think he's going to set the bar for PSG.
Mm-hmm.
He has to set it because obviously they brought him to try and win the Champions League. Obviously they want to see if they can win the title for their league. I feel like it was the right move for him. Yes, he should have left Barcelona. He made the right move. That's what they need. That's what PSG needed. They needed a big player like that. He's proven that he is one of the best players out there right now. Money-wise, that is a lot of money. I don't feel like he was worth that much money, but then again, he was in contract. Yes, he's worth millions, but PSG had the money. They threw it out, and they're pretty happy with the one player that they got. Yes, they have like small players here and there, but that was the biggest buyout for them. That was their biggest spending.
Well, it's funny. His own dad didn't want him to go. And I saw the stories of his dad. He went against the advice of a lot of people around him, and it gets to the whole point of: do you want to be a big fish in a little pond like he is here, or do you want to be a big fish in a big pond with a lot of other big fish? That's what you are in La Liga.
I feel like what his dad was was telling him was, this is the highest you're going to get. Barcelona is the biggest team in the world, if not one of the biggest. So I feel like his dad was like, you're going to leave the biggest team in the world to go, and you're basically going backwards instead of going forward.
Well, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. A lot of people were thinking the same thing, that the Premier League there wasn't a move there. For me, I thought, like, yes, La Liga, Barcelona's one of the top teams, but if you're going to move up in terms of league, I think the only place you can move up is Premier League in terms of competition. So he made a conscious decision. Now, like, with that being said, he went to the already dominant team. The other thing I'll point out, which I think is people are forgetting about, and I know, you look at that PSG roster, and look at the number of people in that PSG roster who are going to be playing for Brazil in the World Cup next summer. He is playing with 4 or 5 of his teammates on the Brazilian national team. That's what makes me now, all of a sudden, I'm reassessing my thought on what I thought about the World Cup. And it was because all of a sudden now, he's going to get top-notch time. He's going to spend the entire year and spring with his club team, with 5 of his fellow Brazilian starters, and they're going to be playing together nonstop, and they're going to go straight into camp for the summer, getting ready for the World Cup, primed and ready to go. If they stay healthy, that changed my perspective on Brazil completely for the World Cup. And I noticed that just the other day. I was just like, half the Brazilian national team plays for PSG.
Yeah. I think another thing. I mean, well, that's why I say, that was my first, that's why I agreed on him leaving, because you're gonna be playing with your people from your home country. It helps the team chemistry. I mean, PSG, they have Brazilian players that play in defense, midfield, and strikers. And so, I mean, that helps out a lot. It's going to be all around. It's going to be an all-around team chemistry. But also, I mean, after the embarrassing loss in their last World Cup, I mean, Brazil has to come back swinging.
I will say this though. If you're Neymar and you want to justify how much money was spent on you, you win a league title with PSG, a Champions League title in UEFA, and you bring home a World Cup trophy to Brazil. You do that trifecta.
That's a statement.
You've shut a lot of people
Yeah.
up. And he's really on the way. I don't know if y'all saw the last goal. Everyone's saying it's already the goal of the year. That last goal that he had, it looked like it was a glitch on FIFA. I mean, quite frankly, it looked like someone just got trolled. I mean, it was ridiculous that what he's doing. Like I said, it shows you, on one hand, it shows you the competition difference. He's going up against lower defenders. I'm not knocking the French league, but the defenders are not like La Liga. I get that. At the same time, though, he's taking full advantage of it. So I'm kind of, like I said, there's pros and cons to being that big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, but also, I think a couple of real tests, for PSG are going to be whenever they start, when the Champions League begins, they're going to be, some of the real tests are going to be if this team is going to be able to beat Barcelona, Madrid, Atletico.
There's so a lot to prove.
And if they're able to beat them, I mean, that's going to be a statement right there. That PSG is the team to be reckoned with.
Yeah. All right, next up, Bundesliga. One of my favorite leagues to watch because this is the one league that's been home to a lot of Americans, including who I've called, Christian Pulisic, I think is the next dominant star in American soccer, who, by the way, has already started off with a league with an assist and a goal to start off the year. So they've only played 1 week. Bayern Munich are your returning champions. Week 1 winners included Bayern, Dortmund, Hertha, Schalke, Hanover, Hoffenheim, and a couple others. But this is, once again, we just talked about PSG, Monaco. When you talk about Bundesliga, Dortmund, Bayern. The difference is, I want to get y'all's take. Every year that I've been watching this, Dortmund's always been the talented younger brother to Bayern. And yeah, they're good, they compete, but they're always getting punked by Big Brother. I say this might be the first year that I think Dortmund can actually break through. Because they've brought back all their guys, and they looked in top form. Bayern had a miserable preseason. They played in the International Cup. They were terrible.
They lost to Liverpool.
Yeah, and they came back. They won. They won 3-1, but it was not against a good opponent. And like I said, Dortmund just came out and looked like a well-oiled machine. So, what do you guys think? You think Dortmund can we finally see someone other than Bayern Munich win the Bundesliga?
I think I mean, I actually would enjoy to see Dortmund win it. This year. I mean, they're a pretty good team. A lot of people have been saying that a lot of hype with Christian Pulisic. I mean, which is really good. A lot of people are always saying that.
What I love about it is it's not hype. The guy's freaking killing every week. It's not hype. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, he's doing good. But he's doing this on the best team in one of the best leagues in Europe, and people are understanding this kid's freaking for real. He's not a joke. That's why I don't think he's getting enough respect yet. I mean, I don't think people will understand.
I think when people are when he gets when people are gonna give him, I guess, more respect, people are just gonna be saying when he starts, making goals, destroying them. I think that's what people are gonna that's what people will see. I mean, you could be, or either you make really good plays, or he could be the maybe the next Iniesta of the Bundesliga, But I mean, some of those assists that he's been doing are pretty good. I mean, I'm liking them. But I mean, yeah, Dortmund will be a really good team to see.
You know how, and you can talk about this, we're all about to talk about them. You know why you know you're good? Barcelona comes after your players. That's exactly what Barcelona's doing. They're trying to buy Dortmund's players right now, a bunch of them. I mean, you pull up the news on Dortmund right now. Barcelona chasing this guy, going after Dembele, going after, it's like they've been going after other guys before that. So you know you're good when all of a sudden La Liga is breathing down your neck, Premier League's breathing down your neck. They're like, hey, can we buy those guys?
But the price tags are pretty. Do you see some of those price tags? They're in the hundreds. I mean. Like
130 million bid for Dembele was this the latest 10 hours ago is what Barcelona has made towards Dortmund. 130 million. That shows you how the market's just ballooning up.
But I mean,
but I feel like what caused that was Neymar's move. If you can get 222 million for one player, why can't we get 130 for one player? That's what I feel messed up. That's what I feel like messed everything up.
It's all about marketing.
Well, it's every damn sport. Look at.
Yeah.
I mean, can you tell me that had look at the NBA? If Steph Curry and other guys hadn't gotten the contracts, can you tell me James Harden would have gotten that hundreds of millions of dollars they got from Rockets? Hell no. Hell no. The whole market got blown up, and that's what I don't. That's why I go back to the Neymar thing. That shows you how big that deal is. It's not just affecting PSG and the French league and blah 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 and Liga and Barcelona. It's affecting the game because other leagues now, it happened in the NBA when that crap started. It started that in NFL, not as much because they have more restrictions. But when you do that to a sport where there is no salary cap,
yeah.
And I hate that because what I don't like about that is it sucks for those teams that don't have the money. Because you're not going to compete. And we were talking about the other day a lot of like the MLS and Liga MX drawing more Europeans. You're going to have trouble with that if European teams start dishing out this kind of money again. It's disturbing in a way. It's going to be a lot of money to be made. And when there's money to be made,
if you're one of the teams that are at the top, it works out for you. But if you're one of the teams that's always at the bottom, it just screws you over because you don't win anything. You basically lose in every situation, money-wise, player-wise. Yeah. And even if you are a small team, you build up this 5-star player, and say Barcelona comes and offers you, all right, we'll give you about 20 million. They can sell him for like 200 million if they build him up correctly. So I feel like this money transfer stuff and the way it's going right now, it's just going to screw everything over. Obviously, soccer's just going to get better, but I feel like this is one of the downsides that I do not like about it.
I mean, AC Milan got pretty lucky with those buying. Like, they bought a couple of
you got some bargains.
Yeah, but AC Milan, I feel like they've been saving up their money for a long time.
That's just...
you save money that long and you suck.
You're going to come back and throw out so much money. I heard they still have money left over to buy more players.
Which is good, but also, I mean, nowadays, people are just going to be throwing, people are just throwing out the money. I mean, there's no such thing as a smart...
That's what scares me, because I imagine other sports that have salary caps. Like I keep going back to the NBA analogy, but I think about if there was no salary cap in the NBA, could you imagine, like, if I owned, I don't know, what's about a crappy team in the NBA now?
The Bucks.
Yeah. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, right? And I'm some Arab sheikh or something with $1 billion to spend. Can you imagine if I just dropped to the NBA with $1 billion, no salary cap restrictions? I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy LeBron, I'm going to buy Steph, I'm going to buy James. All you guys come on my team. You each are going to get $300 million for 2-year deals. It's like so that's disturbing to the rest of you just to watch other sports. That is what's happening to soccer, and it's great in one hand because people I know are getting paid and it's making the sport bigger and bigger. But it is scary because, like I said, it keeps the small teams down. Speaking of which, moving on so we can wrap things up. La Liga. Speaking of big teams staying big and the small teams staying small, Real Madrid is their returning champions. These guys have already come back. They keep winning. They won Champions League. So my question is very simple, y'all, when it comes to La Liga. Barcelona has had a rough offseason, obviously, getting knocked out of Champions League, having a tough time, not winning their, winning things, losing Neymar. Real Madrid, exact opposite. How do y'all see it going down? Is this going to be the same thing again this year? Is Barcelona going to get their act together, or is basically this does Real Madrid basically own this league and everyone else is just their you know what?
I think going to this is it's funny. I was actually watching like a report on that, and a couple of years ago, Madrid they were in the same position that Barcelona are in right now.
Yeah.
And Barcelona were just dominating every game. They were losing by 4 goals. And the thing is, it's just it's like a hill. It goes up and down. And Barcelona they have to be able to bounce back from this. People are saying, oh yeah, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win the Champions League. You never know. Some of those Clásicos. That they won. One of the Clásicos that when they beat Madrid 4-0. Messi wasn't even playing. It was all Neymar and Luis Suarez. And Iniesta made a couple of good goals. It made that really good goal from outside the box. But I think that they just had to move on. And they just have to win the games and have the confidence. But they also have to be able to replace. I honestly think that signing from Paulinho it's not even. It's just stupid. And the amount that they paid. Yeah. They just they bought. Paulinho. He's okay, but he's not at that level where they can say, oh yeah, I'm a good player. I'm a top player, so I could be at Barcelona. I just don't. They could have replaced him with someone else. But Dembele would have been a really good guy to take over that spot, or Antoine Griezmann. But the problem with trying to buy Griezmann would be that he's really loyal, which is that's
one of the rare ones who's loyal.
And that's what I respect that. He's a lot of. That's why I enjoyed to see also not only seeing Barcelona play but also Atletico Madrid. Those players are loyal to their coach.
Yeah, and the thing is I see Atletico Madrid and Sevilla having these loyal players, but they're always stuck in that 3rd or 4th place.
Yeah,
it's I just don't get it, and I just I will say Atletico Madrid has, I think in my mind, the best outside shot to break into the top 2 between Barcelona and Real Madrid. But it's like here we are. Here I am, week 1. What am I looking at? Real Madrid number 1, Barcelona number 2. Everyone else, after that. That's what I'm looking at the standings every week, and I'm just wondering, for me, I don't think that's good for the league. For me, it's like, what do we just talked about? We talked about the French league, we talked about the German league, now we're talking about La Liga. What do all those leagues have in common? 2 dominant teams that are wrecking everybody. Yeah. With the exception of the Premier League, which we'll talk about here last, it's not really competitive. It's like, and for me, that's boring. That's boring. That's why I love Liga MX so much in MLS, because it's a free for all.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned it. Chivas in Liga MX, who were the recent champions, they're in last place right now after 5 games. Could you imagine Real Madrid in last place right now? No.
Catastrophic.
No, yeah, the world would be over in Spain. There'd be riots in the streets. So it's like, I don't know what, I can't explain it. What are your thoughts just in general? And I know you may want to bring that up. I think that's a good story. But
to me, I think Barcelona's just desperate at this point.
Yeah.
They're trying to grab whatever they can to please their fans. Obviously, their fans are on strike trying to get some of the board members out. Even Neymar made a comment and said that they need new board members. To me, they're just desperate. They're just trying to sign someone to see if their fans will be happy, but for you to replace someone like Neymar, you have to pay some good money. Obviously, a lot of the other teams around, they're just basically saying, screw you, we're not going to give you anything. And I feel like they're just so desperate that now they're trying to sue Neymar. After he already left, he debuted, he already played games. Now they want to come back and say, that was a contract breach, now we're going to sue you and all this other stuff. But it's just is Barcelona that desperate? Do they feel that low?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? I don't understand. But it's just, obviously, you're always going to fall. You're always going to come back up. Right now, I feel like Madrid is that team that's going to be up. Obviously, with an amazing coach and amazing players. Obviously, they're building up small players too. You see some of these young guys scoring amazing goals. So I feel like Madrid's going to be up there for a while, but Barcelona is just it's okay to fall, because I mean any team can fall, even Madrid could fall, but don't fall and start digging a deeper hole for yourself like you're doing now. If you have to get new board members, get new board members. You have the money. You are Barcelona. Barcelona is known for having notorious players. Go out and get someone who can replace Neymar. Like the player that they just signed, he couldn't even get like 5 keep-ups. Like, come on now. I mean, an infant can do that. So I say go out and sign a good player. Don't dig a hole deeper than you already are. And hopefully you can actually give Real Madrid a run for their money this season.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just like I said, I know we're going a little over on time, but I do want to hit very briefly on the Premier League, which in my mind is actually the most entertaining.
Pretty exciting.
They're turning into the Liga MX of Europe right now because you guys. I don't know if you guys you saw that first game where out of nowhere Chelsea gets bamboozled by Burnley of all people.
Yeah.
And just beats the champions. It's ridiculous. So you're looking at that Premier League right now. We got 2 games in. You got one not surprise in Man U sitting there. They're one of your traditional top 6 teams, number 1. And then you got a bunch of, I don't know what. You have Huddersfield, which I think is one of the teams that came up. Got very late up. You got West Brom, who's never in the top 6. West Brom's there. Watford, number 4. I mean, come on. Then you get some of the traditions. You get Man City, number 5, which a lot of people picked preseason to win it. A lot of people are picking Man City. Man City's been a popular pick. Liverpool, number 6. And then there's a big drop-off. Southampton, Everton at number 8. And you know who's missing from this? The Spurs sitting there. Tottenham sitting there at 10. Chelsea's sitting at 12. Arsenal, don't even get me started on that. You know.
4th place. The 4th place Kings.
Well, and I also know about Arsenal. They're the king of. Did you see how happy their fans were? And Wenger, it's just, first game we won. We're back. Arsenal's good.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, we suck again the next week. It's like, yeah, dude, you guys suck. And it's like you guys aren't gonna. They don't change their coach. But I just find it interesting because this league, I feel like, is flipped all upside down. I mean, there's a couple people on the bottom that you expect to be there. And it's very early on in the long season, I get that. But keep takeaways, a couple highlights. Wayne Rooney's not done scoring. He got his 200, he has the 200 goal club now with his move over to Everton. And I guess one of the big questions is that, you know, should some of these teams like Arsenal and Chelsea, not Chelsea so much this year, Chelsea's kind of surprised, I'm sure they'll be back, but especially like Tottenham with the Spurs and Arsenal, these teams that are expected every year to do well, and they're always, like you said, you're going to joke, always in that 4th place, always in that, you know, they make the finals, whatever, they make it towards the top, they never can win a title. You know, are we going to see anything different this year? Like, what are y'all's thoughts? I mean, for me personally, I agree with a lot of people. I think Man U and Man City, I think it was a great preview what we saw here in Houston. I think it's good. I think that was a great preview of what you're going to see in the finals for the Premier League in terms of a race. I don't know what y'all think.
I think with I'm really excited. You know, last time that the first 2 games with Manchester United, I mean, they were both won 4-0. Last time we saw that was back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, they're scoring crazy.
And all 8 goals in 2 games.
None against.
Yeah, and two good clean sheets. You know, I'm excited to see this year's. You know, they have a lot of young players. You know, they Marcus Rashford and Martial and I think also not just Manchester United. I'm excited to see. I like the Cinderella story team, which is Leicester City. They're
still hanging around,
yeah. Yeah, they're always I think now with Jamie Vardy and Mahrez. It's funny because I'm happy that Mahrez is staying. And people have been trying to buy him, but I mean he just he doesn't want to go in. And but I think they're gonna be really good teams. Especially now in the Champions League. They're gonna be really good competitors. I mean, but I think the team that I'll probably be on the lookout would be also Tottenham. Spurs. They're playing a good game.
I'd be the most, if I was a fan of the Spurs, I'd be the most frustrated because they have talent.
Yeah, Harry Kane out there. I mean, it's just You know, Harry Kane
Yeah.
is the leading guy.
And what's frustrating is you got the talent, you got the coaching staff, everything else. Like I said, if you're an Arsenal fan, you got a bumbling idiot of a coach, and you got a mess out there. You got some talent, I get that, I'll give you that. But it's like, it's even more frustrating for Tottenham because it's like, you guys have all the pieces. What the heck's going on? It's like us talking about the dynamo on the road. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, this is something that I can't explain. They choke in big situations. I mean, like I said, I think the Spurs will be in the will end up in the top 4. I think they eventually will because look at it. They've only won one game. The one game they've lost was 2-1 to Chelsea, who was coming back in a must-win situation after losing their opener to Burnley. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't blame them. So I think it's deceiving the standings. The Spurs should be higher. But, another team that I'm curious about because they put so much high expectations on them, Manchester City they've been a lot of expectations on them. When I was looking at all the preseason rankings, all the people who follow English soccer, everyone's like, Man City this year, Man City, Man City, Man City. I don't know. They haven't shown me. I've not been excited with what I've seen so far, but I'd be curious to see if Man City can actually do anything.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts, Premier League?
I feel like it's just gonna be, it's up for grabs for anybody.
That's wild.
Obviously, with Rooney going to Everton, I feel like he's going to put Everton on the map this year. They always joke that they have nothing in their trophy case, but I feel like this could be one of the seasons that they can actually bring something home. Obviously, you're just 2 games into the season, so a lot can change. But I feel like the way things are going right now, you're seeing. Obviously, there's going to be teams that play, and obviously one of them has to win or tie, and that's how they rack up points. But like I said, that matters. And then obviously seeing some of the big teams lose, that can affect some of the smaller teams moving up, and it gives them a chance to actually get a run at the championship. So I feel like it's up for grabs for anyone, and I feel like you're going to see a lot of like teams that you don't know who they are, but you're going to get to know them towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and shout out to all you Huddersfield fans out there, number 2. I mean, I guess enjoy it while you can. Okay, well, cool thing I want to get to, the last thing I want to get to is just to cover, just looking towards World Cup action and whatnot. And I don't want to analyze this because we've already talked about these teams nonstop. We're nearing the end of qualifications in terms of for CONCACAF and the Hex. We're going to know very quickly who the 3 teams are, with the United States sitting in that 3rd position, Costa Rica 2, Mexico 1. We have a round of games coming up here on Labor Day weekend. We then have a round in October, and I think there's finally one in November. So we got about 6 games total that counts qualifiers. And I just kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on kind of how you see things going down. For myself personally, my big 2 questions are this. Is the USA for real after the Gold Cup? And they have a chance to do that because they are going to play Costa Rica, of all people, on the 1st. And then a not to be overlooked Honduran team on the 5th. That's going to be a big test for me. I'm going to be, if the United States can come out with 6 to 4 points, either a win and a tie or 2 wins, I will feel very good about the United States going forward into the final stages and securing that 3rd, possibly 2nd spot if they keep beating up on Costa Rica. Mexico is kind of the flip side. There's no doubt they're going to be in the World Cup and they're going to be from CONCACAF, but like I said, can they figure out this identity crisis that they've had, a miserable showing in the last several tournaments for their standards, what they should be. One thing I will note, and after the Gold Cup, and I still love about this, we joke about these FIFA rankings meaning nothing. Here's my point. Okay, pretty much the top 10 didn't change. Just came out on the 10th of August. Okay, Mexico, which did miserable in the Confederations Cup, looked terrible and couldn't finish the job in the Gold Cup, moved up to number 14 in the world rankings. I don't know how stupid is that they go from 16 to 14. Now, the United States, justifiably so, moved up 9 spots to number 26 in the world after, impressive wins and whatnot. So at least that makes sense. But I think that's just, it is ridiculous. I think Mexico is benefiting from a few teams in front of them not doing that well.
Yeah.
Some other notable people that have moved up, just if people are curious, number 4 and 5. Okay, the top 3: Brazil, Germany, Argentina. no surprises there. Switzerland and Poland have been the two European teams that have come out of nowhere in terms of qualifiers, and it'd be interesting. They have some big qualifying games coming up that they have stayed consistently in the top rankings. So we'll see what they want to do. So kind of turn over to y'all for both kind of just thoughts in general about some of the international teams and qualifiers. I have a few games I was going to tell people that they may want to watch other than the United States and Mexico. Just kind of y'all's thoughts on the national team, on these World Cup qualifiers, and maybe what to look for and kind of what you're interested in seeing.
For me, obviously the U.S. I'm looking forward to that to see because that game against Costa Rica is a must-win for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no tie, there's no loss. It's you go out swinging. So hopefully the roster is players like Pulisic and Dwyer. For me, I'd say you go out swinging, because if not, you are in a deep, deep hole and you are screwed basically. Mexico, I mean, I'm not that crazy about Mexico's national team. Obviously, there's a few players that that I watch, but for me, I already know Mexico's in. They're always in the World Cup, but do they actually have the potential to make it somewhere in the World Cup and not get disqualified after the first couple rounds, that's why I don't really keep up with them. I'm not German, but I keep up with Germany. That's my number one pick. Argentina also. So, yeah, those are the games that I would want to watch and look forward to.
I think, even I'm not a really big fan of USA. Yeah, I mean,
we're sorry El Salvador didn't make it this year.
It happens, you know.
It happens all the time.
I'm actually like more, I'm going more with Argentina. I feel like, they're just gonna come and blow out USA like that was like they did a couple of times, but I think with Mexico, they're always an interesting team to see. I mean, they somehow pull out forward and do pretty well. And I just think that I'm really excited to see Argentina and also Germany. I mean, Germany, they always do really well. They always get to the semifinals, and
A lot of young guys coming.
Yeah, a lot of young guys, a lot of really young guys, which is really good. I was really impressed with the Confederations Cup. Yeah. Confederations Cup. All of those young guys, and then most of those young guys are gonna be as subs. That's a really good.
Some of those guys weren't gonna be on the roster.
Yeah, those are some super subs. I don't know any other team that they could say they could come in. Yeah, they could come in and say, oh yeah, let's say the striker, the main striker gets injured. You can have. The coach is going to be confident enough to make the right call, and he's going to have options, to say, okay, I have two extra guys that could, fill in that extra position. I mean, this is the kind of teams that these are the World Cup teams, that like they win championships. This is the kind of teams that, other nations should be able to say that they have. I mean, that's how you become a great team, and that's how Argentina, Brazil and Germany, that's how they've always been so that's how they've been really competitive teams, I'm pretty interested to see how how the next couple of games are going to be for USA and Mexico. But also USA has to win against Costa Rica. That's a must-win game. There's no ties. Like they need to make the extra push forward for the next year.
They need to create some distance.
Yeah.
And I will say this: there's a couple other games people are interested. This is Labor Day weekend, and it's qualifiers around the world. It's not just CONCACAF. There's some games when I went through the list that stuck out to me. You see, for the first time, finally, some of these qualifiers are getting into some actually interesting matches. So Spain is going to be playing Italy in a qualifier. I think that's going to be a very interesting World Cup match. We got two. Spain are currently number 11, Italy number 12. So they're playing right there next to each other. England will be in action against Slovakia, which is an interesting matchup. Iceland, who I thought was a surprise in UEFA, I'm kind of seeing what they can do. Them and Wales being the two smaller teams. But the real action that I'm really looking forward to in terms of watching other teams of the United States and Mexico, on September 5th, Colombia and Brazil play each other. And I think that is, with the exception of Chile, Argentina, Those, Colombia is ranked extremely high right now. Brazil obviously be number one. I think it's going to be fun. Chile is going to be in action against Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, and Venezuela. So some good South American matchups and qualifiers that's on the 5th. So if you like international soccer, starting from Friday the 1st of September all the way through that following Tuesday, it's nonstop action in terms of games. So with that being said, we apologize for going a little long this week, but just a couple things before we check out here. Remember, giveaway, if you want to get in the drawing for the Dynamo Cup and show t-shirt, make sure you get 5 new people to follow and like our page, Texas Soccer Live. And then once you have 5 people that have done that, just let one of us know or message the page, and we'll put you in the drawing for that. You have until the end of this weekend, Sunday, to do that, and then we'll draw. Give us some feedback. Okay, we're getting back into we have a lot to cover, as you see. So we really want to focus our shows on what you want. We'll probably go back and do some smaller shows. Raul will give you some more Liga MX updates. I may focus on the Dynamo. We'll give you some mini shows. But when we give our next show next month, we want to focus on what you guys really want. So if you're like, hey, we want more of this, less of that, blah blah blah, give us feedback because that's how we get better and improve. So we're looking for episode 9. We'll do it some point, probably in the middle of September, and get that down. But we'll probably come do some smaller shows before then and some updates. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back to you. That's Raul Bermudez. That's Raul Villarreal. I'm Sean Celez. See y'all later. Appreciate it. Oh, I'll get that. Hang on.
Studio audience. All right. I'm going to give you my honest feedback after you turn that off.
Okay.